That's why oh so frequently do I love vibing on your frequency. And if it was up to me, we would be alone, at home. I'm thinking candles, deep talk but no panties. Then lay back or let me handle it. Let me handle, yeah, I can handle you.
Never knew what I was missing, but I knew it's wisdom. Welcome back to my channel, guys. As always, you know I'm super duper excited you guys decided to watch one of my videos. You guys seem to really enjoy my last sort of like talk through video and things like that, so I decided to do another one. And this one is about learning how to love your partner. Now, I ain't no expert, I ain't no guru, trust me. I go through things every single day. I'm learning every single day. But there are a lot of things that I have come across and that I have learned that I would love to share with you guys. And I'm going to try to keep it under 20. There are 4 ways or 4 things to help you become a better partner to your partner. And how to love them more and how to love them the way that they need to be loved so that you can be loved the way that you need to be loved, right? Cool. The first thing that I want to talk about is relationship PTSD, post-traumatic disorder. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It comes from when you had a cheating ex-boyfriend or girlfriend, even if you had a best friend who's done you wrong, or parental, sibling, anybody who's ever violated you or some way, or ever caused you some sort of emotional trauma, even intellectual, any sort of trauma that you really had to grow from. A lot of the times you get these like maybe, I don't want to say flashbacks, but for lack of a better word, when you feel like you're following down the same sort of path, you know, you get scared, you get nervous, you start to act like as if maybe you're cornered or animal in a cage or whatever, because you refuse to go back to the situation that put you in that sort of trauma. Get you, right? That's exactly, if you've ever felt that way, that's exactly what you're going through. Somebody in your past has caused such a level of trauma to you that it literally kicks back into you every time you feel yourself maybe falling into that sort of situation again. So that's the first thing that really affects your relationship, especially as you're going into a new one. That trauma you have to let go of. Now, it's easier said than done, okay? Like, I literally just got over something. I'm gonna tell y'all in a minute. Just got over my personal relationship trauma that I held in my new relationship for so long, you know, and it was literally breaking me and him up as a problem. It used to become such a problem. For example, one of my first love, you know, I lost my virginity to him, everything, and he had this best friend, and you know, albeit most of the time you want to be like, oh, you know, you want to beat the girl up, but more often than not, shorty don't even know that they still with you or whatever. And so he had told her that we had broken up, and they, you know, they had sex. He cheated on me, and we continued to hang out with this person as his best friend without my knowledge. And then when I did find out, it was such a blow to me, because I trusted him so wholeheartedly, so openly, so much. If he said this is what happened. And it literally, for the next 3 of my relationships afterwards, has been the downfall, because I don't trust no best friend. No best friend. None. Not a single one. Oh, she's my best friend, but I've known her for, I don't care. That shit is a dub, B. No, you know what I'm saying? But understand that not everybody is like that. And I know it's really, really hard to get out of that mindset. I literally lived it. But you have to, because that's so detrimental. It's detrimental to you, and it's detrimental to a partner who, especially if they aren't doing anything, is trying their best to understand you. Maybe, you know what I mean? They're trying to work through your problems with you, which, that's a hell of a person, because you should be working through your own problems first. But like you're breaking yourself down, because all you're doing is going, no, that this has to be happening, and you're creating a scenario that's not even really there. And then you're breaking down your partner, who is constantly trying to come at you, but eventually that chisel on that brick wall is gonna break. You get what I'm saying? And you can't fault somebody for eventually being like, this is just too much. It's not fair to me. I deserve to be loved too. So you want to be mindful of that relationship PTSD and mindful of how your actions are literally being projected onto somebody who's never done anything to deserve that. Okay, that's number one. Another example is something like PTSD can be passed down. It doesn't even have had to have happened to you. Another example, my mom always taught me, like, since I was young, I need to work, I need to have a job, I need to be educated, I need to make sure I have my own money, I never depend on no man fully, because when he gets up and leaves you, because that's inevitable, you're not gonna have nothing. And so you want to have something to go ahead and rest your own laurels on. Now, I respect it. You always want to have your own. I feel you. There's a nugget in there that makes sense. The nugget in there is you should always have your own. You should always have something to bring to the table for yourself in case the person who you're with or whatever doesn't decides to take away their eggs. You have your own eggs in that basket. Now you're not sitting there with just the basket. I understand that. But I've never even gone through that. I'm learning something like that from 8, 9 years old. And I understand she's impertinent, thinking that, it's something to keep me from going down the path. But now I'm sitting here already, I'm super independent. No, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pay for this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. No, I don't need you. I can do it. I can get it. And that hurts your partner. Your partner's trying to do something for you. They're trying to love you. They're trying to take care of you. They're trying to be a part of your life and trying to make things better for you. And you constantly like, no, I got it, because you're not going to leave me out here. I ain't going to. Don't nobody want to be around that. You don't want to be around that. Come on, if you sitting there and you want to help your man out, and your man, for whatever reason, had some help, his father done had problems with some girls and was like, yo, every time they give you something, they gonna take it right back. So don't accept nothing from nobody. And you work 3 shifts overtime to get this man these sneakers, and he's like, nah, I can't take them from you, because you're not gonna turn around and take them from me and throw it in my face. That shit not gonna be crazy to you? Like me? Why would I ever do that to you? Come on. Don't let something that didn't even happen to you, Before I get off the topic of that, I want to talk about the 7 sort of signs that you might be suffering from relationship PTSD. It's circle of repetition. You constantly do the same thing over and over and over again. You don't know how to get out of it. Now you've been hurt so much, you're just gonna keep doing the same thing over and over again, because it's like, I don't know what else to do. You got to break that generational cycle sort of thing. Blowing things out of proportion. Like if you're dragging things like hella hard, like, and you're dragging things, like, that you're just in your bag. That you're upset about something that happened to you years ago, relationships ago, that you're still carrying baggage on, and now you're just letting that out every chance you get. That's not fair. Being overly protective of yourself and of your person. If someone had cheated on you, you want to be so protective of that person that you have now, so that no one can ever get that close to them. I get that. Same thing with yourself. You've been hurt. You don't ever want someone to ever get that close to you again. So you want to make sure you have all your walls up. That's a sign. Trying to self-medicate, drinking, food, binging, all sorts of things. All those things are self-medication, and they normally become addictive. Things you might not even believe are addictive will become addictive because you're using them to pass the time for something else, and you should be trying to figure out what the problem is. Keeping yourself numb, being like, no, I'll never feel anything. You need to experience love, allowing yourself to settle. We all know about that. Know what you want and what you stand for, and don't accept anything less. And then, of course, overacting your senses, which is kind of like you giving yourself anxiety for no reason. Oh my God, is this happening? Oh my God, is this happening? Oh my God. Relax, calm down, relax, So then the second thing for me is compromising an ego. A lot of the times people have a lot of ego, People have a lot of ego, and it's like, well, if they can't take me like this, then and it's like, everybody's a work in progress. You gotta learn that. You gotta respect that. You know what I mean? You need to compromise. Like, when you finally learn that sometimes a lot of the behavior that you're getting from your partner is not even really from you, but because of the whole relationship PTSD, it's a lot easier for you to understand, open up, be like, okay, I'm willing to get through this or whatever. But in the same mind, that person, or if it's you have to communicate. And when you communicate, you need to make sure that your partner is comprehending, understanding, truly getting it. Because communication is not just about saying words, because if you don't get it and you can't put it into play and you cannot practice it, then it's pointless. So you really want to make sure that you understand that, one, a lot of the struggles they're going through are internal, and unfortunately it is being projected in a sense But that's the compromise part. The compromise is to go, I know that I within myself have my own sort of demon, so I'm willing to work with you and learn you if you're willing to work with me and learn me. I'm willing to honor how you feel about things and how things make you feel if you're willing to honor how things make me feel. And then that comes to number 3, which is love languages. Now, a lot of people are familiar with love languages, and if you aren't, there are 5 types. The first type would be words of affirmation. That's someone being like, good job, thanks babe, I'm happy you did that, thank you for washing the dishes, instead of being, rude and detrimental, like, finally you washed the dishes. Come on. Gifts, which obviously, people, some people like to be like, oh, this person was walking around and they gave me this gift. That means they were thinking about me. That means they care about me. They know what I like. They know what I'm interested in. Acts of service, meaning like doing something nice for them. You know what I mean? Like, that's just simple. Giving them a foot massage, or maybe a back rub or something like that. You have quality time, which is how I like to be loved. That's my love language. I like to cuddle and just watch TV all day. We can go out and go shopping. You don't have to spend money. You don't have to buy me anything, nothing like that. I just really enjoy doing things and having conversation. And then number 5 is physical touch. That's how my boyfriend is. My boyfriend likes for me to kiss him and hug him, and that physical connection is to him. It shows how much I love him. And so so I want to say that learning that is really important, because if I'm trying to push onto him my sort of love, he's not gonna receive it that way. Like, you can't come to me and be like, I like to have gifts, so I'm gonna give you gifts all the time. That's not how it works. You have to learn my love language. Now that I know you like gifts, I know that as much as I'm a quality time person, I should be looking for gifts, things to show you that I'm thinking about you, because that's how you see that I love you. And if I'm a quality time person, you need to be figuring out, how can I spend more time with her, Like, I would prefer to buy her a gift, but that's not what she likes. And that's not going to show her the true appreciation and the love that I have for her, because I'm taking the time out of myself to sit down and get to learn how she wants to be loved. Learning how you want to be loved for yourself is easier, because then you can teach someone how to love you. And if you want to be loved how you want to be loved, you have to be open to knowing that you have to love somebody how they want to be loved. Everyone's different. And don't be like, oh, he's a guy, he must not like this, or he must, no. You'll be real surprised how many men enjoy just some real quality time with their girl. So don't ever assume. You have to be open. You have to be willing. You know what I mean? That's the whole compromising and dropping your ego, to be like, you know what? Maybe I did something wrong. Even though I did it. Even though I did the best I could and I reached out and I did it the way I know how to do it. It did not receive well on the other end, because that's not what he's looking for, what she's looking for. And you have to be open to be like, I'm not wrong. I was just a little bit off. Let me find a way to tweak that so that I can make that person happy. In terms of how to maybe learn this love language outside of just having conversation and just being in tune with your partner, there's this app called Happy Couple app, where they ask you all sorts of questions, like emotional questions, intellectual questions, intellectual questions, financial questions, all sorts of things. So then they give you options, and then it sees how well you know each other, like compatibility. So for example, one question could be, how does your partner feel about like sexual liquids or whatever? And you would think, like, why are they asking this random question? But it's really funny, because when I answered the question and I was like, it really depends, and he's like, I love them, you can just see the difference in between. Now you get that option to pick your answer, and you get the option to pick the answer for your partner. So I would say, if I know him right, he loves all of the liquids. So I would click that, and then if you get it right, you get a little option like you got 1 point correct. The more points you get, the more levels you get to open, the more questions you have. It's actually very, very interesting. You talked about money and financial and doctors and kids, and you really get to learn people, because then when we get them wrong and it's like, well, I thought it was this. I thought you wanted to live in a small town, not the suburbs. Oh, actually, well, I do want to live in the suburbs, blah, 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 blah. Oh, wow, I never knew that about you. You know what I mean? So that's to me. There's a lot of other quizzes, but to me, that's like that horoscope shit. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's real general, and the only way to really get in there and really learn what you love and really know what you like is to get out there, live, learn, love, laugh, eat, all that good stuff. So, and then number 4 will be intimacy and trusting. I bring that to the last one because it's the most important. Once you get past your PTSD, once you learn how to compromise, once you learn the love language of your partner, you now have to get past the idea that intimacy is sex or physical, when it's not. Intimacy is when you can be yourself. Intimacy is when you can be open and raw and natural, and the only word in your mind when you are that with that person is trust, is safety, is like, those are important. Those are the words that people are looking for. Like, it's not about sex. It's when you realize that you can tell someone your truth about yourself and not be judged. When you can stand in front of them and really look at them and be like, no, I know that I'm safe with this person. I know that me, and not just like physically, but my soul, my heart, my mind, the things that only I have 110% acknowledged and respected is also 110% acknowledged and respected within this person, and I feel safe to be myself. That's intimacy, you know? That's trusting. You know, people want to be touched and admired and smiled at and laughed with and respected and loved, and like people just forget that sometimes you just have to date your woman. Sometimes you need to date your man. Yeah, you can be married, engaged, whatever, but never lose the spiciness of the love. You need to keep that balance of, yeah, we've been together for so long and things, and he must just know that I'm gonna be here forever, and she just must know whatever. That's not always that. People become insecure. People, when you are not on top of all 4 of these things, start to say, well, damn, you know, he's not loving on me no more, he's not this no more, or vice versa, she. And then it goes, well, am I good enough? And that's the last thing that you need. So that's why you have the compromising, the trusting, the love language, the intimacy, the understanding the relationship PTSD, so that as an overall, you're aware of the things that you bring to the table, that you need to work on, that you want to be brought to the table, and that what you're willing to work on with someone else. And I think that's truly love. Love is that as an never-ending thing, and I mean that in terms of never-ending, because if you find your partner, you'll always have love. But I also mean never-ending in terms of it's a never-ending learning process, and you have to be willing to go through that process and never give up, because there's always going to be a new thing that jumps out at you, a new obstacle, a new this or whatever. But when you have these 4 things down, in my opinion, it's a lot easier to face these things, especially with your partner, if you guys are on the same page, and get past them. So yeah, I really hope that this was another one of these videos that you guys could enjoy and maybe glean some information from. Again, I'm no guru. I ain't nobody's like wife or nothing. I ain't even engaged yet or nothing, you know what I mean? But I can say from experience and from the growth that I've had in terms of my own relationships, that these things are really, really important. And if you practice them and put your own little spin on them, or whatever the case may be, to make them work for you exactly, I promise you guys will be like, whoa, I really don't even love this nigga, or I really do. I didn't even realize how much I really do. You might see the improvement so much so where it's like, yo, I didn't even know all I had to do was talk to you. I didn't know all I had to do was explain to you that this is what I like, and it can really be that simple. So again, thank you guys, baby dolls. Y'all know I always love when you guys are on my channel. Make sure you are liking, subscribing, hitting the bell to be notified, and following my social media. And until next time, dolls, bye.
Go crazy, girl, go crazy, 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 go crazy, girl, go crazy.